And I think we are the second last session, so let's try and make it interesting. In fact, since morning you have been hearing about India AI mission, so we will be taking you in detail what the mission is, how the mission has been conceptualized, what exactly is the output, and what is the way forward in this mission. Before we start into this, just wanted to mention that as the government worldwide is looking into digitalization, with digitalization, if AI is integrated, it will become a very innovative way of bringing the output of any solution. So AI will bring, basically what AI will do is that it will bring a smarter data-driven decision, and most importantly, it will make sure that the delays which generally are there in the public service delivery, that can be overcome by integrating AI into the digitalization. And also that AI offers a way forward. It will make basically that the government will now become more proactive, more predictive, rather than becoming a reactor, because otherwise what was happening is that we were doing digitalization thinking that this kind of a service is useful to a citizen. But now, since if we have integrated AI on top of digitalization, we will be able to do a better decision, faster decision, and we will know what exactly is a service required by a citizen. Let's, for example, a child who is past 12, what kind of services he will require. He will require to know that what are the colleges where he can apply, what kind of fee structure is there, what is the scholarships available or not. So if these kind of things, if we can bring and give to the citizen, then it will be a better way of showing that the government is more proactive and reactive. So in that aspect, what is more important for India is that it will also improve our work and productivity. By doing AI into the system, we will be able to make sure that the output is more productive. And as it has been already spoken since morning, that AI is the skill capital of the world. We have largest skill penetration in the world. So this will also bring the opportunity to, that the talent which we are building, or the talent which we have, can give a better services to the world outside. And also it will enhance the public service delivery. As I said, that without AI, there would be some delays. So with AI, we can mitigate those delays. And in fact, AI will allow India to leapfrog from the traditional development cycle. It was also mentioned by Vikas, Vishal Duper, that India has started little late. But now, since with AI, we can leapfrog that development cycle. This is what the India's growth story is, that, and we think that it is very important. In 2023, India was ranked 7th position by the global Stanford Index as an AI vibrancy. So we were far behind, and we looked into a lot of aspects why we have been lagged behind in other countries. So we had a lot of consultative processes. We came up with the consultation papers, and we understood that where we are lagging behind. And with those aspects taken into account, the AI mission was launched in 2024, which boosted the India's position from 7th to 24th. Within just coming up with a mission, which was a very critical mission, which looked into all the aspects of AI development, we brought the ranking from 7th to 4th. And while the AI was implemented as a part of India AI mission, with a lot of output being generated as a mission, our index has gone up to the 3rd. So now today, with the mission implemented successfully in 1.5 years, we have improved our ranking to the 3rd position, and we are just behind US and China. And there are many things which is very important to look into. Like I have said, that India is ranked as 1 in the skill penetration. We have, in fact, 2.5x times the global penetration compared to the global world. We have the skill penetration in India. Our talent is highest growth in the talent, 252% is the growth. So year on year, there is a growth in the talent. And in fact, the most important thing is that AI is not only restricted to male community, it is also females in India are looking AI and they are going into the AI-led jobs. So we have 1.9% female going into the AI, which is also higher than US, which is 1.7. And as I mentioned that with the implementation of AI mission, the ranking this year, which has been come out by the Stanford, we are ranked 3rd. And there is a year-on-year hiring percentage increase, that is 33% year-on-year. The skills have been hired, so which means that India has an advantage to become AI powerhouse. While there is a lot of advantage for India in the case of AI, though we have started late, but there are certain challenges which we need to look into and understand how we can incorporate those challenges by coming up these solutions which will be beneficial for India. We need to develop the indigenous foundation model, because currently it was talked about ChatGPT and other foundation models which we are using, which are not trained on Indian context data, and they are not having any understanding of the socio-economic realities of our country. So which is very important that we need to have our indigenous foundation model. Second, India is the richest country in the data set. So we need to make sure that the data which we have are quality, diverse, and will also bring all the context, so that any solution or a foundation model built on top of it will give more better solution output or more better results than what it has been looked into at the moment. And also the most important thing, which is the very critical pillar, which is the compute. Till the time the mission was not there, we had only 650 GPUs in our country, which was very low. And we wanted all the researchers in our country or the startups to use these GPUs, because GPUs, without the GPUs, anyone will not be able to build AI solutions. So we need to ramp up the access to the modern AI GPUs. And most important is that the guardrails are very important, because India is not going to come any regulation at the moment, because we are pro-innovation and we don't want to hamper the innovation. So we are not going to come up with any innovation. We are going to follow a balanced approach, where by building the guardrails, we will be making sure that the solution is not biased, will also meet the global benchmark, and will also not create any harm to the users who are using the solution. And also we need to make sure that the advantage which we have with respect to the skilling, we need to make sure that we will make more AI trained skill sets available in the country. There are also societal implications, because the AI is generally taken as a black box. So we don't have any transparency, interpretability, and also any understanding why this answer was given by a solution. We don't have any answer. So this is also one of the risk which is being looked into. And the second, that AI, in order for these models, they are to be trained on large data sets, and they generally crawl the internet and they take all the data sets available on the internet. So some data has IP and copyright and some are not. So we also need to understand how we will be able to handle the IPR and the copyright issues. And the Gen AI, they are basically have the ability to come up with the deepfake. So we have to also mitigate those challenges which have been created by these AI solutions. And to answer to all this is what I would say is the IndiaAI mission. As a part of this, we are building an entire sovereign stack, where we will be coming up with the compute infrastructure. Here we have already brought 38,000 GPUs from the 14 empaneled providers. We have all the computes which are actually available in the market, which is H100, H200, A325, A100, L40, L40S, all the kind of computes which are available, GB200 are available in this. So this is the compute layer, which is the very important, which has been already built. On top of this, the second important aspect is data. We have already launched our AI course. More details will be given by my colleagues who will be talking about it. This is an AI course which is a repository of public and private data sets brought onto this platform. This has been launched only in this March, and as on date we have around 6,000 data sets, 250 models, and also 20 tools, plus we have also made available the compute, small compute available on it, so that any user who wants to, any developer who comes onto this course can take the data set, can try the model on a small compute, and if he is satisfied, then he will go to the compute infrastructure, take a larger compute and build a full-fledged application. The third important layer of the stack is the foundation model. As of now, we have been talked and we have been hearing about these 6 models which are being developed by the global north, which everyone is using. They have been trained on trillions and petabytes of information. In order to answer to those, we also have already started working on 12 foundation models. They are built on the Indian context and the Indian data sets, and these, some of them will be made available by February during the Impact Summit, so that it will be made available on the AI course, so that any developer, if he wants to use the foreign models, he can also use the foreign models which have been created, which have been installed on our servers, or if he wants to use an Indian model, that can be also made available through this. The next layer on which we are working is inferencing, as well as the orchestration layer. The work on this is going on. This will be next UPI for AI. This layer will be made available so that anyone can bring their solution and scale up the solution by giving the inferencing infrastructure. On this, work is being going on. So this we are just developing. And on top of it, there is an application and innovation layer, which is a citizen-centric layer, where we are working very closely with the state governments and the central ministries and building the applications which are actually their problem statements. And on those problem statements, we are trying to extract the data, maybe in the physical form or in the digital form, making it AI ready, bringing it on AI course, and running the challenges for the department, and identifying the best solution and giving it to the department. We have already done this kind of an innovation challenge. My team will talk about it, and this way we have identified 30 solutions in 5 critical domains, which will be talked about by my team in the next few minutes. The 2 pillars which are very important and which cut across all these pillars is, one, the safe and trusted, where India has already announced the AI Safety Institute, which is a hub of the Safety Institute, which will work with the research institutes of our country. And in this, as I spoke, and we have already started working with 13 institutes, and we are working on the frameworks for ethics, bias mitigation, security tools, machine learning, deep fake tools, watermarking solutions. So we are working with 13 academic institutions, and we are building these tools. Some of the tools will be made available by February, and they will be also made available on Data Coach, because that is the layer where all the startups and researchers would be coming. And the most important layer is the skilling. One of the course which we have already announced, we are also working very closely with AICT and Ministry of Education and Higher Education, and building the skilling aspects with required for the AI. We have also working in a 2-prong approach. We are giving fellowship, which was talked about a few minutes back, and more detail will be given by my colleague. And also we are creating a center where new opportunities and new job opportunities can be given to the students who are doing courses in ITIs and polytechnics. 570 such institutes will be created across the world in tier 2 and tier 3 city, and Rajasthan will be having 25 such centers in tier 2 and tier 3 cities of Rajasthan, where the courses which we have worked with the industry, what the industry requires, are made available, and we will be training the students over here. So this is the overall India AI stack which I wanted to mention about, and I'll ask my team member to come and give each details of the pillars so that you all will be aware about what all things we have done.
Advertise AI across India. I will just wear startup hat and try to explain the problems which each pillar tries to solve at different stage of the journey. I was doing a startup and working very well in a US market startups. When I came and thought like, let's just do something for India, I said, okay, healthcare is an interesting segment. Let's pick up a solution, US market is matured, develop something. When we pick up some of the US models, US data sets and start working over India, the India systems operate very differently. The data in India is very different. Your prescriptions are sometimes handwritten, sometimes the EMR systems which are used are very different. They are custom EMRs. Doctors will use EMRs provided by different agencies, practos and all those things, which are not 100% standardized. When we start using the models for diagnosis, the models are trained for white skins. Sometimes the lesions are not visible. So when we start developing for India, the first challenge a startup face is, what's the data? How does the India data sets look like? Is it similar to the global data sets? Is it something which will be useful to develop the model on top of that? As a startup founder, I faced a challenge, hey, I do not get data. I started understanding a scenario where these data are different, but then I can collect my data, I can bring my family data. But is that sufficient sample to train the model? Maybe yes, but maybe just for inference, not to train the models. I need sufficient amount of data available to train the model. So I need someone to collate it. The data which is fragmented, the data which may be lying in government systems, India government ecosystems through e-Sanjeevnis and other, they have a lot of data sets, they give a lot of EMRs, they check a lot of patients across villages. Sometimes those patients are at different life cycle. The India topology is different, so we need data for that, because when you are doing projects for predicting the mines or predicting where the minerals are, you need to understand Indian topology. When you want to understand the problem of an agriculturist, of a kisan, you need to understand what are the issues a kisan is facing. जो यहाँ की खेत है, वहाँ पे क्या मिट्टी है, जब तक वो नहीं समझ में आएगी, हमें नहीं पता चलेगा कि यहाँ पे precision farming होगी कैसे. So we need to get that data. We need to get the data of patients. We need to get data of e-commerce which is happening. And the data in a volume which is not just used for inferencing, but also for training the models as well. Otherwise, as an economy, we will just remain someone who is using the AI, who is becoming consumer of AI, but who is not developing the AI. And that's where a pillar AI coach helps. It says that the first important thing to create AI, to become an AI generating station, to become an AI developer, is to get the data. And data in a volume which makes training a model useful. India have diversity. India have different languages, different topography, different healthcare systems, different agriculture systems, different education systems. We need to get India data sets. We need to unlock both public data sets and private data sets. Without doing that, maybe we will just adopt systems or models from the outside which may not solve our problem. We will just go, hey, we have developed a model which can do a cancer prediction. I test on 5 patients, it won't work. Hey, I can test diabetes retinopathy through your DR scans. May not work in Indian context. The languages in which people are treated are different. So your foreign models may not work here. If you just say, hey, I give a data for inferencing, may not work there because you need sufficient amount of data to train the models. That's where AI Coach as a platform is getting developed, to collate the data in a form which is available. Sometimes it may not be sufficient, but at least letting people know how the data looks may also be useful so that you understand the processes in which the data is collected, how the model will be trained. I can start making some approaches so that as I build on top of that, I know the more data will get generated and the model will tune. But I need to get visibility to that data. The second thing, as a starter, which I need to do, hey, what are the Indian models which could be reused, which could be fine-tuned? I don't want to create any models from the scratch. That's where the model environment comes in, where 250 models are there, which are all Indian-centric, where you say, okay, these are the models, let me use. These are the Indian-specific models. Can I leverage it? And as an AI professional, can I download it and then set up my own inferencing, set up my own tuning on the India data sets, and then take it forward? You need people to tell the use cases. People are not aware of the use cases. The processes in which government is operating or a particular sector is operating is very different. We cannot just say we know everything. In the last session, like sir said, a 21-year-old guy coming and say, hey, I have an idea which can change the world. Won't happen. People have their own processes. The AI systems needs to be implemented in a process. Through the processes, people need to uncover the challenges which are there, the business challenges which AI would solve. So those use cases needs to be listed as well, so that the AI developer who is trying to solve a problem, he actually understands how the problem will be solved. He cannot just say, hey, I've built a model which will do everything for you. Even everyone who is using ChatGPT, in one prompt, we don't get the final answers. It's a draft, iterations, reiterations. Then sometimes we have to work for the final draft on our own, because the output which we want is very different. If you want AI to move to the recommendation side, you have to put more data, you have to understand the context. Those contextual elements will come from the use cases, where the systems, the processes, where AI needs to be implemented. They will tell the problems which they are facing, and your AI solution which we develop, that will get embedded into it. So with that, when I know the data, I know the models which are available, and I know the use cases, the thing is, I need to start churning the model. I need to start processing it. Everyone doesn't have access to a high processing computers. People sometimes say, hey, even a 6 GB GPU based computer will cost over 1 lakh. I cannot afford it. And even before placing an order, at least I want to know what I will be able to do, whether a 6 GB system is good or a 100 GB system is good, or how much GPU processing is needed. So you get a basic compute infrastructure where you can test what is the processing speed, what benefit will I get, so that when you are making a larger investment to train larger models or on the systems or on the infrastructure to be developed, you know what you are going into. And then there's a community for the feedback, so that someone who is developing better than you, those feedbacks can come in. So that's where the AI Coach platform is built. A single source hub which provides startups, analytics developer with each element which helps them create models, to create solutions which get deployed in the Indian context. Rather than just being an inferencing engine, it is a step toward moving toward a development of AI, where we empower people with the local context, local data sets, local models, local use cases. The platform is ready, the platform is open, where people are contributing. We are collating a lot of things. It's open platform for contribution, for usage, so that the community develops and it keeps on growing. The government is putting a push to create an infrastructure where your data set could be hosted, your models could be hosted, and it could be consumed as well. If I just talk about how this platform looks like, because I did not want to just show, okay, there is AI Coach. It is live. Everyone on their mobiles can just type aicoach.indiaai.gov.in. Again, I repeat, aicoach.indiaai.gov.in, and they can start accessing the resources which are available. There are resources like data sets, there are resources like models, use cases which are there. You want to do more? There's a simple logins through DigiLocker. You just do a login, you will be able to download those things. You will be able to use those sandbox environment as well. And these are all live pictures which is taken from the platform, so that you don't feel, okay, there is something which is coming. This is all live photo, very easy. You can just log in and start using it. And for people who say, hey, I'm not an AI developer, but I want to start using AI. Things start, hey, can I list my use case, the problem which I'm having? You can list them. Can I give my data so that people who start creating the AI, they create for the context which is relevant to me? You can contribute your data sets. It's not just, okay, there is a data set which has been collated and people can contribute. Both public, private, all can contribute the data sets. They can contribute the models, use cases. They want to showcase their toolkits which may have a different utility, they can do that. They want to start leveraging some of the sandbox environment, or they want their teams to start exploring, they can do that. And again, all those without putting any money, just accessing the platform. Just to showcase the variety, the data sets, structured, unstructured data, image data sets, aggregate data sets, health data sets, all the variety of data sets has been tried to capture. Again, some things which keeps on growing as well, something where the contribution also becomes important from all of you, the startups, the business community who wants to start using or leveraging AI. There are a lot of models as well. The models which may be large, Bharat models, fractal models, lots of language models are there, lots of word models are there. So all the different sizes of models which you can start downloading, rather than just becoming a person who inferences something, they can also start downloading, installing on over their system, start tuning them as well, so that AI just as the inferencing layer, like people are saying, just as ChatGPT, you don't stop on that. You know what goes in the brain as well, how it's working. If we talk about, hey, there are a million parameters in it, there are a lot of elements, there are a lot of weights in it, those all are stored in those files, those model objects, which could be downloaded and installed, rather than just saying I'm using an inferencing engine where I will do some input and see the output. You can actually see all those files which are developed as a model object and tune on top of that. Those systems can be leveraged for your own context. Those data on those data sets, you can try your own, you can contribute the data sets so that people start developing AI solutions on your data as well. To move forward, the next pillar, as we start developing the model, the problem becomes, hey, I want to have the inferencing because that's where people will actually start using it, the application layer. I build a small model. I want the application layer. The problem, the model has to be integrated in the application. There is a process in which AI will help. I want to put a recommender system. Hey, whether the claim needs to be approved or not, whether somebody needs to be given credit or not. There's a process defined through which those files will come, those applications will come, the AI will process it, and then your output will be, hey, the money gets, the loan gets sanctioned and it gets dispersed. Your AI is using the data, giving whether the credit needs to be given or not, and how much credit needs to be given. It has to be embedded. It has to be embedded in the entire solution. That's where, as we move toward applications, what we support is, one, supporting startups in accessing or mentoring where those gaps are, and secondly, helping startups gain the opportunity, how it will be embedded into the system, creating those opportunities through hackathons, innovation challenges, and in the public infrastructure or in the public environment, just to help people understand if you want to get AI started, how your business problem will be will be formulated to an AI problem, so that AI community could develop it, and the solution will become integrated to your processes to give you benefit of the AI. For everything, you cannot keep on going to the chat GPT or say, okay, that's all AI which I'm using. In your processor, it needs to become intelligent. We were talking about digital workforces. If those digital workforces needs to be developed, your digital workforces are given a role. There are a lot of agentic systems which are being developed. Agents for HR, agent for taking whether the claims need to be processed or not, agents who are just understanding what is the recommendation which needs to be given, or agents to just analyze the data and say, okay, where the real problem is. I can come and see my project is stuck because if people are not supporting, the other people will come, I have provided all the support. The law will say something. You need agents to analyze all these three perspectives and say, hey, where the core problem is, why the project is getting stuck, and then take decisions on top of that. To get these data, to get into the processes for those recommendations and implementation into those working systems or processes, where this digital workforce feeds into another digital workforce so that the action gets taken. That is a necessity. That's where IndiaAI works with government ecosystems. They work with states to first formulate the problem, and secondly, generate the opportunities for startups through hackathons and innovation challenges, so that they can build the solutions and which could be deployed in the real world case. I've created a model, may not be deployed. I will just give an example. Hey, there is a solution which we are supporting where just through chest X-ray, you can detect TBs. But imagine, your chest X-ray needs to be taken. There's a machine in which your data needs to feed. So this AI solution, if it's fed into the chest X-ray system, it will be much better in public health infrastructure, where hey, there is a machine, a person is clicking a chest X-ray, the AI machine runs on the top of that X-ray and gives you that report like, okay, this through this X-ray, the TB is found or not found, and these are all the findings which are there. Otherwise, the system would be, hey, I'm asking someone, hey, you feed me the X-ray, then I will give you the results. May not happen. That's where you need to start thinking the endpoint delivery, where all the endpoint systems are deployed. We have identified a lot of startups. We have worked on startups in agriculture, in health, in education, in assistive learning, climate change, and governance. Looked at around 900 plus applications, shortlisted 30, which are getting deployed or piloted for public use cases or scale up in some or the other formats. These are available, these startups are getting supported. If any government official want to say, hey, I want to do something in health, I want to do something in climate change for assistive learning, these solutions are there, which could be piloted, tested out through our support, so that the government could take it forward as well. We support a lot of niche problems because AI, we cannot just enforce on people. AI in governance needs to be there as well. AI in government system needs to be there. We do policy makings, we do schemes, we do scheme implementation. So that's where the AI needs to be embedded as well. So we did some of those hackathons so that people, just imagine, they're interacting with us for the grievances. They need their resolution faster. They choose a wrong department, those files keep on moving. Through those AI, those charging can happen fast. We have a document solutions because a lot of things runs on document. So that the intelligent document processing happens, so that the rate at which the output is done, the efficiency could be increased as well. The churning of output could be increased. People talk about, hey, will AI take away jobs? I say, with AI, we will have more solutions, more productivity, more efficiency, which will keep on churning. So that's where through IndiaAI pillar, we start creating those opportunities through innovation challenges and hackathons. So we talked about data, we talked about applications. The other thing which comes in, hey, I want to scale up, I need compute. That's where everyone has been talking about the compute infrastructure which has been provisioned by IndiaAI. Again, for global north nations, sometimes the cost may not be high. They can afford $3 per hour. Our startup people, if we say $3 per hour, just imagine $3 per hour, even if I say 300 rupees into 24 hours, 7,200 rupees into 30 days, more than 2 lakhs a month. Not sustainable. Not 2 lakhs, 20 lakhs a month. Not sustainable. that's where we provide access to infrastructure which is both cost effective and subsidized as well for research and others. And the variety in which it gets provisioned is huge. There are all the different kind of chip systems which are there, A100, H100s, H200s. Those are empaneled. We are also creating a lot of sovereign infrastructure as well, so that AI in governance could be encouraged as well, so that the data remains secure and the AI for governance could be established for the government ecosystems as well. The students are using it, the startups are using it, and the researchers are using it as well. The other thing which India needs to do in order to become Atmanirbhar is to have their own GPTs or even advanced GPTs. Just imagine, we talk, we have different languages. The next area will be very different. The language models have just cracked one mode of communication. We talk in 3Ds, videos, there are live interaction which is happening. So your AI needs to evolve as well. So we are supporting some of those which works on not just language models, but on different multimodal models, working on videos, working on different images and everything. And we are expecting India to get their own sovereign models as well. We have supported 12 plus startups who are creating large language models or some sector focused SLMs as well, which we are expecting to start delivering results. All are not just focused on language models, but some are multimodal models in very different world. And the intent is India to have their own models. Maybe it will take time to advance to the next levels, but then as the data gets fed in, the skills get developed, we will be able to scale much better than anyone in the global north as well. So that's where the first step has been taken. So as an AI mission, what we are intending to do is to support different ecosystems, creating foundation, creating infrastructure for startups so that these applications could be developed, which would be for all the people. It becomes next year UPI of the world. And that's where even developing people will be important. That's where I will hand it over to my colleague Karthik, who will take for developing the entire system, how the ecosystem gets supported through future skills, startups, and to make it safe and trusted as well. I will hand it over to my colleague.
They're already approved, and we are in touch with the Skill and Entrepreneurship Development Department here to get those labs established across Rajasthan. We already have an operational lab in Bikaner, so just in case if people would want to visit, you should visit the NILET Center at Bikaner, which is a 20-seater data and AI lab which has GPUs available, a couple of them, and also courses around data annotation and data curation that the CEO Shri Abhishek Singh ji actually spoke about a couple of hours back on that. We're also offering those courses in these data labs. Today there was also this announcement about the very, very basic foundational course, which is IndiaAI for all, which is also something that we are focusing on. And hopefully we'll try and see if we can get that up on the iStart LMS platform that's also launched today by the state government. The third and critical element in developing and nurturing this talent is also offering fellowships. So when you look at the labs, it's pretty much housed in the ITIs and the polytechnics, but it is not necessarily for those students, it is for students in the entire community. But if you go a couple of grades higher, students who are pursuing their undergraduates or postgraduates or even PhD research are entitled to look at IndiaAI fellowships, which we are offering for students irrespective of disciplines, but students who are actually working on AI-based projects again. So that is something that that we've started off, and we roughly have about 13,500 fellowships to be awarded, and this is just the start. This is the one that you'd seen in the morning for all of them who were there at the main conference hall. It's a 4.5-hour course, IndiaAI for all, which is available on the Future Skills Prime network, Future Skills Prime portal, which is available for everybody to go and consume. The QR code is there, which you can actually scan and probably access that course. It's a very, very simple course. It's for everybody who's there in this room today, and even those who can probably even ask their parents and children to also consume it. It's absolutely very simple. It doesn't need you to have any form of a tech coding background. It is a very, very non-techie and non-coding type of a curriculum that's been curated. And a lot of it is very contextual. The examples are very real life, something that you can relate to, and something which is very, very contextual in terms of India. Yeah, and this is on the fellowships that I said. We also are offering fellowship amount of about ₹1 lakh to undergrad students in the final semester, and also for dual degree students in their final year. We offer about 2 lakh fellowships to students who are pursuing their post-graduation. And then for PhD students, it is pretty much in line with the PMRF scheme that all of us are aware of. So it starts with about 70,000 per month stipend and goes to about 80,000 per month stipend in the last year. And they also have the research contingency grant and all. Other interesting thing that we have also done for fellowships is we've also started assigning them mentors. So we have industry mentors who are mapped to these fellows, who are able to give them relevant guidance in terms of what projects should be taken up and how the projects could be tweaked in terms of giving them access to resources and support that they would need. This is some of the numbers. We've just started, giving out fellowships. IIT Jodhpur being one of the prominent institutes in Rajasthan which takes these fellowships also. And like I said, these are across NILET centers and the ITIs and polytechnics across the country. Almost about 300 of them have been identified right now, and about 25 of them are already identified in Rajasthan and approved to be established. Then we look at the startup financing, which is another critical pillar, which is again, for all the work that happens in this space, obviously if there are some promising startups which are already there, good place to connect for, and we try and see if there's a way where we can streamline some of this access to their funding depending on the stage at which the startups are, provide mentorship, market access and recognition, and also harnessing a network, getting them connected to a network of incubators and accelerators. This is something that the startup the AI startup vertical within the AI mission actually aspires to lead into. We've also already identified about 10 startups through a certain process that we had selected and sent them to Paris and for a 4-month immersive program at the Station F campus where they spent about a good amount of time. We also helped them connect to mentors in the startup community and also with investors. They're also focusing on a center of excellence, which is slightly on a larger scale, where every state gets allotted number of center of excellence. I think for Rajasthan, it's about 2 COEs that we have already allotted, and that's also something which is again in collaboration with the state funding and center also funding, and with industry also participating it in the ratio of 40s to 20. That's how it is. But you could look at that as a space where you can do skilling, you can take it as a capacity building center, you can nurture startups, you can give them space to come, incubate startups in these places. And there's a lot of other elements of activities that could actually be conducted around setting up this AICOE. Like I said, more about encouraging research, talent development, local solutions, and even enabling and unlocking capital for startups. The other part is obviously the safe and trusted AI part, which is also equally important. Considering all these things that's happening in AI, we need to be very mindful in terms of how things are being developed, what are the guardrails. There are a lot of governance guidelines that the AI mission had recently released. You should go onto the website to check the recent AI governance guidelines that were released in November, which primarily talks about encouraging innovation throughout the country and using AI as a technology, but at the same time be mindful about what are the risks it could probably come up with. So make sure that all those components are taken care of. There are a lot of academia that we have already, and some private partners or some partners whom we have already tied up with to run some of these projects under the safe and trusted mission. If you see, most of the projects and the themes are all around governance and ethical certifications and explainable frameworks and all, which are very, very crucial today, considering the way AI has got into our lives on a daily basis. But then those are spokes. We operationalizing all these things through an IndiaAI Safety Institute, which is also being set up, which works with research institutes and NGOs and startups and industries and civil societies of that matter. And the objective is to create a very inclusive ecosystem, ensure that we are unlocking AI for inclusive growth, mitigating the societal risks and the harms that AI could bring. Also, at the same time, aligning AI with other global standards that are being set up across the other countries, and hence enabling a very, very favorable ecosystem. I just want to hand it over to ma'am again so that she can just quickly run you through the scheme of things around the upcoming India AI Impact Summit in February. Thank you.
By this time, you all have heard about the India is hosting the 4th largest Impact Global Summit. So just I'll take you briefly through the how the journey has started and what exactly we are wanting to do as a part of this summit. This is the 4th series in the Global AI Impact Summit. The series was started by UK in 2023 in the Bletchley Park. The whole focus of the summit was basically of the safety of frontier AI systems. 27 countries participated, and then as an output of the summit, there was a declaration which was signed by 30 organizations was signed. The next in the series was Seoul Summit, which was in 2024. It was co-chaired by UK. The shift of the summit was primarily not only safety, but they also brought in the concept of innovation into it. So safety of the frontier systems along with the innovation. There 28 countries participated and signed the output document. The next in the series was France, which was in 2025. This was co-chaired by India. And the whole focus of the summit was not only safety, innovation, but what AI action can be taken as a part of the country. 100 countries participated and 64 countries signed as an output document. The 2 major countries which didn't sign the document was US and UK. Now India, as it co-chaired the summit of 2025, our Honorable PM participated and he announced that the next in the series will be done by India, and that's how the February 2026 India is hosting the series. This is first in the series which has been done in the Global South. If you see, all the 3 has been done in the Global North. And the scale of the summit has been increased substantially. In fact, we as a part of the summit would like to democratize AI and shape the AI discourse, and that's the reason we are not only talking about safety, security and action, but our main focus of the summit is how AI has impacted 140 crore people of our country. And if an AI can impact such a large democracy, then it can certainly give benefit to the other countries. So we have shifted the whole narrative of the discourse to the impact of AI. And we will enable the democratization of AI, which has been the focus of our country. We have been already talking about how we can democratize AI, make AI accessible and available to the common man as well as to the researchers and the community. We will be talking about the indigenous and the local AI solutions, which we think the impact will only come if we have the indigenous as well as the local solutions. And we would like to have AI for good solutions in the sectors like healthcare, agriculture and governance, because that is how we can touch the larger population. And we are very sure about whatever we do, it will align to the global global standards, and also it will have the governance which will be focusing on innovation, and will also make sure that the requirement of the developing world will be talked about. And as I said, that this is the first time the summit is being hosted in the Global South, so we will make sure that we will voice the discourse of the Global South. We have kept a target for ourselves. We are hosting 15 plus head of countries participating. 8 already have confirmed. The countries which have confirmed is France, Switzerland, Spain, Estonia, and they are the few ones which have, Brazil, they have confirmed the participation. 50 plus global AI leaders will be participating, and we have already crossed these numbers. The top CEOs, as you already heard, that Jensen Huang is coming, then Mistral is coming, Sam Altman is coming, and all those big CEOs of Philips, they are participating in the summit. 300 plus side events, and we have already surpassed this number. Initially we had kept number of 200. Since we've surpassed, now we have kept the target for ourselves as 300, and this is also one of the pre-summit event, and I think we have already surpassed 315 side events which will be leading up to the main summit. 15 plus tangible outputs we are expecting, like democratization of AI resources, tools, AI commons. We are also thinking about coming up with the AI awards, which will be done year on year. Whichever country would be hosting the AI summit will be hosting the award. So 15 such tangible outputs we are expecting. 40,000 people we are expecting during the Impact Week, Summit Week, which is starting from 15th of February till 20th of February. I'll be sharing the details about that. And during the pre-summit events, 1 lakh people we are expecting, and I think with the kind of audience we have in Rajasthan and other places where we have done the pre-summit events, certainly we will surpass this number. The summit will bring together, as I said, that the country heads, already 8 of the country heads have already confirmed. International organizations, 6 international organizations have already confirmed, UN, World Bank, OECD, UNESCO, and all few of them I remember they have confirmed. 6 of such have confirmed. Top CEOs of AI companies have confirmed. We have almost 200 confirmations of these top CEOs who will be participating. Indian tech leaders like Adani, Ambani's, Tata, I think HCL, and all these organizations have already confirmed. Researchers and academia, Yoshua Bengio is coming, Fifi Lee is coming, and others have already confirmed they are coming, and we will be having more than 300 plus startups who will be participating in the expo, which will be running from 16th to 20th of February. The summit will be hosted at 5 locations, since we had kept a target of 300 sessions, but when we had opened the call for proposal, we had got 700 applications to have the main summit events. So we have to, in fact, increase the number of halls. So the main summit will be happening in Bharat Mandapam, but there will be other halls also where the summit will be happening, which is in Vigyan Bhavan. Vigyan Bhavan, Ambedkar Bhavan, Sushma Swaraj Bhavan, and the Central Park, which will be having an event called Innovation Festival, which will be starting from 15th of Feb, which is a Sunday, and will go across till the 20th. This will be at the Central Park of the Connaught Place. As I said, that there is a lot of momentum in the event, 300 plus pre-summit events, 7 regional summits. We have all touched across 300 summits. Out of 7 regional convenings, this is the 3rd one. 4 more are going to be happening till 30th of January. 25 working group meetings. In fact, we have 7 working groups, as the focus is impact. It is built on 3 sutras: people, planet, and progress. And we have 7 chakras, which are the working groups. Each working group will be having 4 meetings, 3 in virtual and 1 will be in hybrid. So already 3 working groups have had the hybrid meeting. So we will be having 4 more, which is now in Mumbai, in Hyderabad, in Lucknow, and Trivandrum. 4 more will be happening, which will be completing by 30th of this month. We will be having Innovation Festival, AI Expo, flagship events. We have announced 3 flagship events. I will be talking about it in the later slides. Research Symposium, Leaders Plenary, Main Summit event, CEO Roundtable, and the Global Partnership on AI Council Round meeting, where 47 countries will be participating in this council meeting. 20 plus countries have already done the pre-summit events. 18 states, including Rajasthan, had events, and 60 cities have been covered. We are trying to make sure that we are covering tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 cities of the country, so that we can have a lot of Jan Bhagidari. Basically, these pre-summit events at these states and the regional summits are nothing but the Jan Bhagidari, so that the common man in our country would know what the Impact Summit is about. These are just the snapshots of these summits. As I said, that 3 have already these regional summits have happened. The next one is in Lucknow, Bhopal, and Hyderabad, and the last one is in Trivandrum. And I would invite all the startups who are over here, if they're interested, they can also participate in other regional summits also, to understand what is happening in that state. These are the working groups. 3 have already completed, 8 we are having in Mumbai, Lucknow, Hyderabad, and Bangalore is the last one which we'll be having. The Impact Summit, we had announced 3 global challenges: AI for all, which was basically open for all students, startups, as well as women-led startups. So we have got 1350 application, in which 21% is international. AI by Her, where we were focusing that the entrepreneurship role was being led by a female, 800 applications, 17% is international. And AI, which was only meant from 18 to 21 age group, we have 2500 application, 10% is international. We will be showcasing all this during the Impact Summit in the February. This is just the glance what we will be doing. The 15th February, there will be inauguration of Innovation Festival in the Connaught Place, Central Park. It will run till 20th of February. The expo will be inaugurated by Honorable PM on 16th. We have taken 75,000 square meters space. We were giving the space to startups, to countries, to states, to industries to come put and show the world that what the AI impact has brought in their organization as well as in the country. The summit events showcasing will be done by AI by Her, AI and all. They will be culminating during 16 to 18, just 2 minutes. And the research symposium, where the researchers across the world would be coming and will be talking about the research in AI, and also the basic research and the applied research. They will be talking about the applied research, where all the researchers I've mentioned, Joshua Bengio, Fifi Lee, and all those people will be coming and talking about. And the summit weeks, we will be having around 600 sessions or events during 16th to 20th during this events we will be having. So this is just the layouts and what exactly the Innovation Festival will be having. It will be having a virtual try-on, then interactive music wall, the epicenter, the fulcrum, and lot of interest will be built by how AI and innovation can work together. So the entire expo will be having the platform showcased by the India ecosystem, global corporates and startups. Interactive zones will be created, country pavilions will be there. So total 70,000 square meters of the expo space is there, and I would ask the startups to start applying for the space so that they can be given booths. Research symposium, there will be plenary session by Nobel laureates. These are the Nobel laureates and the speakers who are coming. So you can see the kind of speakers we are having during the summit. So it is one of the summit of its own kind where such Nobel laureates will be coming and speaking about the basic research of AI and the applied research of AI. Also, we will be coming out with a lot of global showcases like in health, energy, gender empowerment, agriculture, and we are working with the international organizations to come up with these kind of compendiums. So a lot of deliverables are going to come out. Some of them, as I've already mentioned, are part of the 15 deliverables. These are the 7 working groups which are working, and their output document will be taking up to the leaders' declaration, which will be signed by the countries who are participating in the global summit. These are the kind of organizations who have confirmed and working with us, and this is what I just wanted to mention. And I would request all of you to participate in the summit by setting up stalls, by participating in the main events. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you to all our panelists for such a wonderful session. Indeed, we got a deep insight about that. Before this, I'd like to now invite Mr. Deepak Dev Haritwal, Deputy Director, DOITC, to please join us here on stage and to felicitate our speakers. And indeed, I must say that all of us sitting here, this was very insightful session. This entire AI Impact Summit must have given you a great amount of knowledge and a lot of areas where we now understand where we can participate, how the government is helping us, and how we can also add on to this thing. So let's have a clap for this entire presentation. I'm sure that this is the smallest way we can let them know that not only that this session has added a value to our life, but also thanks to them for giving the time and for doing so much of work. So thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir, for a wonderful session. Thank you.